Hey friends, this is Abhinas and today we'll be solving a very interesting question. So the question is maximal rectangle. So in this question guys, we are having a binary matrix which contains zeros and ones, and we need to find out the maximum sized rectangle which contains all one, okay? And we need to return its area. So for example, in this matrix, if I would take this particular cell, so can I say that this particular cell is also a rectangle? Yes, I can say. Why? Because this is a square, right? And every square is also a rectangle. So if I would find out its area, what is its area? So basically, if I you can consider that the height and width of each cell in this particular matrix is one, right? So the area is obviously one into one, which is one, right? So we need to find out the area of each and every possible rectangle in this particular matrix, and we need to find out the maximum, the largest area rectangle out of this particular matrix, and we need to return that area only. Okay. So now let's understand the intuition. Okay, how can we approach to this particular question? So what we will do is we will move row by row, right? So let me write down the row number and the column numbers as well. Okay, so we will move row by row. So let us say I am in the first row, okay? And what I can do is I will consider this particular array, this particular 1D array out of this two-dimensional array, okay? So basically consider that these are not the numbers, like these are the histograms, okay? Where each and every number are denoting the height of the histogram, okay? Height of each bar in that particular histogram. So as you can see guys, so this is one bar, okay? This its height is 0, so obviously it will not count in the area part because its area will be obviously 0. And this is one height, the bar is of height 1, this is 0 and this is 0, right? So what will be the largest area that I can find from this particular histogram? So let me draw the picture so that it would be very easier for you to understand. uh, okay, so basically I am saying like this particular histogram. Suppose in this particular histogram the height of this particular bar is 1, it is 0, this is 1, this is 0 and this is 0. Okay, cool. So if I would find out the area of the largest area out of this particular histogram, then obviously the largest area will be 1, either for this or this, right? Because this is 0, so obviously it will not contribute in finding the largest area, right? Its area will be obviously 0. So the largest area that I can find is 1, okay, for this particular histogram. Okay, so till this point, the maximum area that I have found so far is 1. Okay, so let's move on. In this step, guys, what we will do is we will collectively take this big submatrix. Okay, out of it. Initially, I have taken this much, submatrix to find out the largest area. But for this time, what I'll do is I'll take both row 0 and row 1. Okay, so if I'll bring this out of this particular matrix, it will look like 1 0 1 0 0 and 1 0 1 1 1. Okay, so guys, tell me what is the largest area out of this? What you can see? You can obviously see this will be the largest area, isn't it? Because if I take this much, this much uh, submatrix, if I would find out the area of this much submatrix, it will be 1 1, which is 2. Okay, the height will be 2 obviously, and the width is 1. So 2 into 1, which is 2, right? But for this, as you can see, the height is 1 obviously, but the width is 3. Okay, there are 3 blocks. So definitely the area will be 3 into 1, which is 3. Okay, and 3 is bigger than 2. So obviously the area for this will be bigger, right? So what we can do is we can form a histogram out of it. So the histogram will look like this, where 2 is the height of this particular bar, 0 will be the height of this particular bar, and it will again have 2, okay, as the height, and this 2 will have 1. Okay, So you can imagine this particular histogram out of this particular matrix. Okay, so as you can see that it will have an area of 2 only. It will have area of 2 only, but this block will contribute to this much, right? Because as you can, if you tally this much portion with this particular submatrix, so obviously you can see that this is the biggest area. This is the biggest area rectangle, right? So it will not, if I take this much area, this much rectangle, then it will not going to give me a bigger area, right? But if I consider this rectangle, so obviously this will give me a bigger area, right? So obviously if I'll just extend, if I'll take this much area, then it will give me 1 1 1, which has the width is 3 and the height is of course 1, as mentioned in the in the block. So the area will be 3, okay, which is the largest one. So guys, we will continue doing that only, okay, to find out the largest area for each and every blocks, each and every row. And till this point, the largest area that we have found is 3, right? So now let's include the third, I mean the second row as well into this big submatrix. So if you include this, as you can see, this is one histogram, right? This is one of the histogram bar, which is the height is 3, okay, and then we have this much bar which has the height is 1, and this is again the height of 3, and this is having only the height of 2, and this is of 2, right? Cool. So as you can see guys, in this big submatrix, you can clearly notice that this is having the biggest area, right? This is the rectangle which is having the biggest area, because if we'll just extend this height to here, so you can clearly notice that it has a height of 2 and a width of 3, right? So obviously the area will be 6, which is the largest one. Because if we'll find out the if we'll notice that what is the contribution that this particular block can make to find out the area, so the area will be contributed by this particular block will be 3 into 1, which is 3, okay, which is smaller than 6. Similarly, if I take if I notice that what will be the contribution for this particular block to find out the area, then it will obviously be this big, okay, this big. So as you all know that the height is 1, but the width is 1 2 3 4 5, okay. So obviously the area will be 1 into 5, which will be 5. So this 5 is also lesser than the area for this much block. So clearly we can conclude that this much block, this much submatrix will give us the area of 6. Then we'll update the answer to 6. And if we'll go ahead as well, we cannot get even more area result than 6. So clearly the answer for this particular matrix will be 6. So I hope you got the solution, got the approach, how can we proceed to this particular question. So now let's see how can we solve this programmatically. Okay. Hi guys, so this is the question that we are solving. So you can easily get the link of this particular question from the description below, and please go through that link. And so basically, as you can see that we have a character matrix, right? But we do need an integer matrix to solve this particular question. So why? Because when I just had told you that we have to find out the largest area for the current vector, current binary array, and after finding out it, we just have to include each and every vector into it, and we have to collectively think it as a histogram, right? Then we can for that we have to find out the height of each and every bar, right, in that particular histogram. So to find out the bar, we do need a integer matrix, right? So yeah, so we have to find out, we have to find out the integer matrix out of this particular character matrix. So it's quite easy. We just need to copy things
But the important thing is that when we are having a histogram, so how we can find out the largest area out of it. Okay, so now let's say that we have a random histogram, right? So let us say the histogram has like 2, 4, 1, okay, 0 and 5. Let's say this is the height of each bar in this particular histogram. So we need to find out that what will be the largest area for this particular histogram. So let me draw it so that it would be very very clear to you. So let's say this is the bar of height 2 and it has height, let's say, okay, let me reduce its size. Okay, let's say it's a bar of height 4, it is of height 1, and this is height 0, right? And this is of height 5, correct? Okay, so now let's say that this is the bar that I'm currently looking at, and I'm trying to figuring out that what will be its contribution in finding out the area, right? So tell me what will be its range, okay, when the area, when finding the area is concerned. So basically its range could be from here to here, right? Because if I'll exceed this point, so there is no bar of the same height or the height larger than its height, right? So this is why I can only take I'll only consider the range on from here to here. I mean from this point to this point. Okay. So the area will be obviously 2 is the height, and you know all the width of each and every bar will be 1. Its width is also 2. So the area that it can contribute is 2 into 2 is 4. Okay. So basically what did I do is I just did found that what is the next smaller element. Okay. Till that point, the range will lie. The range will be there. Okay. So for example, 2 has the next smaller element is 1, right? So till this point, it will has its range, right? And we can find out the area out of it respectively. Similarly, if I would see that, okay, 4, so what is the next smaller element for 4? So the next smaller element for 4 is 1, okay? And the previous smaller element for 4 is 2. So obviously, from both the left and right, the area that it can contribute to is only this, okay? Is only itself. If I will consider it as a rectangle, so the area will be 4 into 1, which is 4, right? Okay, so I hope you are getting me that for each and every cell, each and every bar, we just need to find out the next as well as the previous smaller element. Okay, so how can we do that? Okay, so that is the question. So basically, guys, we will be using a stack to solve this particular question. So for example, 2 came. So what I'll do is I'll push 2 right into the stack. And when 4 came, I see that 4 is basically greater than 2, okay, not smaller than 2. So it cannot be the next smaller element for 2, right? So when 1 came, I see that 1 is greater than 4, okay? So what will I do is I will pop that out and I will put it in a map, right? Where the 4 will be the key, and just to tell that, okay, what will be the smaller next smaller element for 4, so it will be 1. Similarly, I'll not stop here. I'll continuously popping out element until I find a top element which has the value smaller than the current element. So basically when I see that 1 is also bigger than 2, I mean smaller than 2, what I'll do is I'll pop that out and I'll put in the map, right? So I'll write 2 is also 1 is also smaller, next smaller element for 2. Okay, so since the stack is empty, so I'll stop here and I'll push my current element, which is 1. So when 0 came, 0 is already smaller than 1, so I'll pop that out and I'll put 0 is the next smaller element for 1, and I'll push 0 right here. And after that I have 5. So 5 is basically bigger than 0, so obviously 5 will be get pushed right here. and as you can see that we just have traversed the entire array. So 5.0 does not have any next smaller element, right? So for that we can pop them out, and we can say that it has infinite as the see, we are not actually storing the elements itself. Instead we can store the index. Okay, let us say the index for 4 is 2, or if it is 1 based indexing, or otherwise it can be written as 1, right? So it can be written as 1 can be mapped with 0 1 2. Okay, and 2 means 0, 0 can be mapped with 2, and so on and so forth. I think you are getting me. So in this way the infinite can be replaced with the the last, I mean the size of the array. Okay, so let us say if I would write the indices of each and every element, so it will be like this. Okay, so infinite means what is the immediate next invalid index, so that is 5, so it will be 5. Okay, and what is the immediate previous invalid index, so that will be -1, right? So for previous for find when we find out the previous smaller elements, so we will replace uh, you know will replace the infinite with -1. So I hope it is pretty much clear. So let's code it out quickly. So basically, first of all, we need to handle a very small base condition, that is when the matrix itself is empty, then tell me that what will be the largest area for any such rectangle in this particular matrix. So obviously it will be 0, because there is no such rectangle existing in it, because it is already empty. So as I have told you that we do need a integer matrix. Okay, so now let's call it mat. Obviously it will going to have the same configuration as the base matrix has. So let me quickly write it down. Okay, perfect. So what we will do is we will try to pull out each and every value in the form of integers, because whatever you can see in this particular matrix are the characters. Okay, okay, so tell me what will be the value at mat of I comma j. So it will be depending upon the value at matrix of I comma j. Okay, if the value at matrix of I comma j is 0 is the in the character form, I'll be inserting a 0 in integer form, right? And if this is not 0 in character form, then obviously it would be 1, right? So I'll be inserting 1 in that particular case. So yeah, we just have found a matrix of integers. So the first thing that we need to do right here is we need to find out the maximum area for the first factor, as I have already told you previously. So let us say that we have a function that will get me the largest area for any such histogram. Okay, so for this, for current scenario, we have mat of 0, and mat of 0 is the current factor. Okay, we will pass it to this particular function, and it will tell us that what will be the maximum area for this particular factor. Okay, all right. Let us say we just have found out the area for current factor, and so we need to include each and every factor accordingly, right? So we have to now look at the matrix from ith row, I mean from one row to the the last row, right? So guys, if you have any such doubt till this point, you can simply go ahead and comment me in the comment section. It would be appreciated. Okay, cool. So basically what I have to do right here is I have to add whatever the value at I comma j is. Let us say I am right here. Okay, let us say I'm right here. I just have included this array into this, so that I basically I'm just taking this much submatrix, okay, into consideration, and I'm looking at this submatrix as a histogram collectively. Okay, so in that case I have to add these two values to find out the height of this particular bar in this histogram, right? So when I will add this particular value, so I have to find it cumulatively, okay, so that it should not be hectic, right? A hectic means, whenever we add a new factor into it, so that means we again have to find out all the elements in the same column. So it will be very hectic find out the sum of values in the same column every time, right? So we can use cumulative sum. So the whenever we see there is a 1, so we can add its value with the immediate upper value, okay, whatever the value that could hold at that time. So what will I do is, uh, if I see that mat of I comma j is equal to 1, okay, so in that case what will I do is I will add mat of I comma j with mat of I minus 1 comma j. That means I'm adding just above value to the current value to find out the height. Okay, so after finding out the current histogram, I have to, as I have already found out the maximum area for the first vector, I have to find out the maximum of all such histograms. Okay, when I'm continuously adding each and every factor in each and every row. So the area will be largest area when I pass mat of I into it, because mat of I will have the histogram, okay, the height of the histograms. Okay, after finding out all these things, I can simply go ahead and return max area, and that will be my answer. Okay, so now let's find out the largest area. So it will get a vector is a input. Okay, so basically, as I have already told you that we will be using stack data structure for this purpose to find out the next smaller and the previous smaller element for each and every bar. Okay, so for that we will be using two maps. Okay, where the first map will be taking care of the what is the left minimum value or the previous minimum value for current bar, and the right map will be taking care of what is the next minimum value for the current bar. Okay, though we can use constant space, or we can exclude this particular thing, but for convenience purpose we can use that as well, right? Okay, so what I can do is I have to first traverse the array, as I have already explained to you. Then if I notice that stack is currently empty, then I can simply go ahead and push in. Basically I'm this time let me write it down, that what actually I'm doing. Basically this time I'm finding out the next minimum height for current bar. Okay, perfect. So whenever I notice that the stack is empty, okay, then I have to push the current element, okay, current index into it. And while the while the whatever the current element is, the current element is basically array of I, and if that is basically smaller than whatever the element present at top of the stack, I have to pop it out, right? I have to pop it out uh, by pushing by actually inserting the entry. So the entry will be that right of current element, right? The current element is basically stk dot top. Okay, the next minimum value will be I. Okay, then I have to pop it out. Okay, but since it can pop the entire stack, so we have to take care of the thing that when the stack is not empty, then please when the stack is empty, then please stop here, right? Do not pop anymore, right? Because we do not have any element left to pop, right? In that case, we may get a segmentation fault, so we need to take care that right here. Okay, so after coming here, we can push the current element into it, because suppose the stack is not empty. Okay, so that means the current element which is basically coming will not get pushed, right? So that we can do right here. Okay, great. So basically after doing all this stuff, there may be some element remain. So while the stack is not empty, what I can do is I can do the very similar thing. Okay, but the I will now be array dot size. Okay, I think you got the logic behind it. So we can do the very similar thing to find out the previous uh, minimum height for the current bar. Okay, so in that case we can just traverse the array from the end, okay, till 0th position. Okay, 0th position, and we can decrease the I. Okay, basically we are moving from right to left, and we'll do this very same thing. There is no issue. Okay, and yeah, everything is correct. Only we just need to replace this as left. Okay, because we are trying to find out the previous smaller element. Okay, so guys, we just have found out the next smaller and as well as the previous smaller element. Okay, so this time we have to find out the maximum area for the current histogram. So the maximum area that I can, the minimum possible area is 0, right? Because suppose suppose the array that we have, let us say it contains all zeros. Okay, so that means the histogram is having all the bars of height 0. So that means what is the maximum area that I can found from here? The area can be 0. Okay, and that is the maximum area. So in that case, let us say, let me traverse the array. Okay, and the max area will be maximum of the current max area that I have found so far, and and what is the height of the current bar? So the height of the current bar is area of I, right? And what is the width of the current bar? So the width of the the range that it can take up to, right? So the range will be right. What is the minimum next minimum value in its right? So this is right of I, okay, minus left of I minus 1. So this is the range that it can take. So this will be the width. Okay, this is the height and this is the width, and collectively it will be the area of the current bar, okay, that it can contribute to. So finally I just have found out the max area, and I have to now return the max area. Okay, so I hope you got the logic behind it. So now let's test it out whether it is actually working or not. Okay, basically for finding out the minimum, we just need to replace the infinite with -1. Okay, okay, we have some. Okay, got it. Okay, uh it will be the stack, right? If there is no element in the stack, we have to insert one. Okay. I guess some spelling mistake would be there. Okay, largest area. Okay. Okay, so it's saying that it is wrong answer. Okay, I got it. So basically, I have written it wrongly. So this is the condition when the stack is empty, right? When the stack is empty, we can push an element into it, right? But when a stack is non-empty, then we can take care of pushing an element right here. Okay. So this is what the, this is why the answer was coming wrong. So now it should be right. Okay, it accepted. Let's now submit it. So basically guys, this is the solution that we have. I hope you enjoyed watching this particular video. So if you have any such doubt guys, you can simply go ahead and comment below in the comment section. So if you have any such question in your mind that you want me to solve in my next coming videos, you can suggest me in the comment section. And if you still not have subscribed to my channel, then please go ahead and subscribe it, and please hit the like button as well as the bell button as well. And thank you so much for watching this video.